Welcome back to another Sunday prep day. Every Sunday I prepare everything for the week. So that is vegetables and some things like soups and stews. Today I'm going to make some butternut squash soup and some carnitas. And yeah, let's just get on the way. I usually start by cutting up some onions. These are going to go in the carnitas and the soup. So, on the menu this week for lunch on Sunday, sandwiches as I usually do. Then for dinner, I'm gonna do a sauerkraut stamppot. Stamppot means some kind of vegetable mashed with a potato, so in this case, sauerkraut. And I'm gonna add some bacon, and I'm gonna serve that with some smoked sausage. So, and then for Monday for lunch, I'm gonna have that butternut squash soup. And then for dinner, I'm gonna have some wraps with it's already ready made. It's like beans in a sauce with lots of veg. So let's see. Then for Tuesday for lunch, if you're new here, I usually do low carb lunches and regular dinners, except for on the weekend when I have my sandwiches. Those are my cheat days, so I'll have carbs for lunch. So on Tuesday, I'm going to do some asparagus with some chicken breast. And then for dinner, I do Taco Tuesdays. So I'm gonna have those carnitas with some of that roasted salsa that you saw me make last week. So then on Wednesday for lunch, I'm gonna do a low carb stir fry. I have some broccoli stems left over, so I'll cut those nice and small, and I'll use that instead of something like rice. And I'll just do that with some chicken. And then for dinner, because I'm making carnitas, it doesn't make sense to do like one portion. So I'm gonna do a carnitas rice bowl as well. And I'll do that with some lime cilantro rice and some corn. Maybe I'll do like a corn salsa. That sounds pretty nice. And then on Thursday, I'll probably have a little bit of carnitas left, so I'll do some lettuce wraps. And then for dinner, I'm gonna do some chicken curry. If you remember last week, I made a bunch of curry paste. I made enough for more than one portion, so I still have some left in the fridge. So I'm gonna use that for some chicken curry. I'll probably do some rice with that. This diced onion is for the corn salsa, for the stir fry, and also a little bit, I think, for Friday. For lunch, I'm gonna do, what am I gonna do? A tuna salad. So just some canned tuna, a little bit of celery, some onions, some mayo. And while I cut this leek for the stir fry, for Friday for dinner, I'm gonna do a rice bowl with some salmon. It kind of depends what I'm gonna do. If I have any of that roasted salsa left over, then I will do like a Mexican-inspired rice bowl. And if I don't, I have some gochujang still, so I'll do like a Korean-style rice bowl. We'll just figure that out on Friday. So here we have some garlic cloves, I'll just cut some of these nice and fine for my salsa, for example, and my stir fry. And a couple of these I'll just leave whole for my carnitas and for my butternut squash. I keep wanting to call it pumpkin, because in Dutch we don't make the distinction. We just call it a flespompoen, which means a bottle pumpkin. So I always want to call it a pumpkin, but I guess it's a squash. So yeah, I'll just always do my veggies first, and then I'll make the other things. So I think I'll just do 2 of these chopped, and then the other 4 I'll do 2 whole ones for the carnitas, because that's gonna all cook down, and the soup I'm gonna blend, so I don't need to cut that down too fine either. So that done. What next? Let's do some chilies. So these are gonna go in the salsa, in the stir fry, in the carnitas, and I just have some red ones, some yellow ones, some green ones. I'm not gonna bother de-seeding them. I don't mind a bit of spice, and these are not too bad. So I'll just do like 4 or 5, however many I grabbed. I like chilies, so you can never really have too many. And I just like doing a bunch of different colors. Just looks nicer. You don't see the yellow ones that often, so. Okay, let's get those in a container. Then next up, some peppers. I'm gonna use some for my stir fries, some for the corn salsa, and I think I'll throw some in the butternut squash soup as well, just for a little bit of added flavor. I'll do some chilies in there as well. And these are red and yellow, so that will go well with the orange. I wouldn't want to use green, just because that will make the soup not nice and orange, but more like a yellowy color, like a mustardy. So I'm just gonna cut these into little cubes. So cut them lengthwise. And then across. And I'll do the same thing for the other half and for the red one as well. Alright, then we'll have some celery. So I'll do, I think I'll do 2 for the soup, and then 1 I'll do finer for the tuna salad. Because for the tuna salad, I don't really want big chunks. I just want some little refreshing bites, just a little bit of crunch. And then for the soup, like I said, that's gonna get blended, so just cutting it nice and coarse. You know what? I'll do a little bit more since I'm almost through that celery anyway. Let me just use that up. Next up, some carrots. These are gonna go in the soup as well, and I also, I'm gonna chop a few for my stir fry. So I'll start with the stir fry ones. I'm just leaving the skin on, because these are washed and the skin is really thin, so why go through the trouble if it doesn't really bother anyone to keep the skin on. Yeah, I'll do one more nice big one. And the rest I'll just cut into bigger pieces depending on the size of this carrot. Some of these are small, some are bigger, so probably about this big. I'm not too fussed because, like I said, these are going to cook down completely and then get blended up, so just want them a little more manageable. Next up, some cucumber to go in my corn salsa. So I'll just do some slices, then cut them into sticks. And then cut across. What next? I have some broccoli stems left over, so I'll just use that as filler for my stir fries. And I'll just use everything except for the very ends because they can get quite woody. So these smaller ones I just cut into little slices and then run my knife through. And I could grate them to make broccoli rice, but that's just way too much effort. So, and this bigger one, cut in half, then cut across. I did take the little eyes out, you know, the little remnants of stems because they get quite dry. But other than that, I'll just use the whole thing, except for this very bottom bit which gets woody. So, same with this half. You can do it as fine as you like. This is fine enough for what I need it for. Next up, I have some coriander or cilantro, as the Americans say. That's going to go in my salsa and my lime cilantro rice. So I'm just going to give it a rough chop first and then get it nice and fine. What else? Some asparagus. So I'm just gonna click off the little end. Where it snaps, that's the woody bit that you don't want. And then we have this butternut squash. So I'm just gonna first cut the top off and give that a peel. And I'm gonna do the same for the bottom. And because I cut it in half, I have a nice stable base to go around and peel it, and it can't roll away from me. And then the bottom part, I'm gonna cut in half, and I'll use a spoon to scrape out the seeds. And you can absolutely save these, but I don't really use pumpkin seeds or butternut squash seeds, so I'm just gonna scoop them out and discard them. And make sure you get the little webbing as well. And then just cut it into pieces. I don't care too much about the shape because, again, it's going to cook and break down and get blended, so just cut it any shape you like. And the finer you cut it, the faster it cooks, but I'm going to use a pressure cooker, so that doesn't matter that much anyway for me. And I'll do the same for the top half. And then I have some parsley, but I'm actually going to leave that whole because that's going to go in the soup. And as I said earlier about the peppers, I don't want a bunch of green in there because I don't like how the color turns out. So I'm going to leave them whole so I can just fish them out later. But yeah, I am going to preheat my Ninja Foodi. Add a little bit of oil. And while that heats up, I'm going to clean up a bit. And then we'll be right back to make the soup and the carnitas. I preheated my other Ninja Foodi as well, so let's get everything in. First we'll do carrot for the soup, and celery, a little bit of peppers, and some chilies. I'm only using the red and the yellow, not the green for this. 2 of these cloves of garlic, and about 1 onion's worth of yellow onion. I'll add a little bit of salt, and I'll just let that saute for a bit. And then in the other Ninja Foodi, I also have some oil heating up, and I'm using some stewing pork. So to that, I'll also add a bit of salt, and I want some nice color on that. I'm not going to cook it through, I'm just going to get a nice bit of color. Now the vegetables have softened a bit, I'm going to add my squash. And let that saute for a little bit as well. And with the meat, I have a little bit of color on there, so I'm going to add my yellow onion and my garlic. And some chilies. I'm mostly using green here, but I'm grabbing indiscriminately. And we'll let the onions soften. Okay, to the soup, I'm going to add vegetable stock cube. And I will add some water. I will add some of my parsley. Put on the pressure lid, valve closed, high pressure for, let's do 40 minutes. And then for the carnitas, the onions and chilies have softened, so I'll add a stock cube to that as well. Add enough water to mostly submerge the meat. And then I forgot to put limes on my list, so I'm just going to use a little bit of citric acid. And I'll add a bit of cumin as well. And again, pressure lid on, valve closed. And then depending on the size of the chunks of meat, how much time you need, I'm going to do about 40 minutes. So I'll let those do their thing, clean up a bit, and I'll just see you when everything is ready, and I'll close out the video. Okay, the pork was done, so I just shredded that, and then the braising liquid I'm just cooking down a bit to use for seasoning. And also the soup is done, so I'm just going to blitz that real quick. Oh, and I did take the parsley out because, like I said, I don't want the green in there. Okay, that is nice and smooth. Just going to let that cool down so I can transfer that to another container. And that was the prep work for this week. So I can have lunch and dinner on the table in minutes. So I do this every Sunday, and if you like this, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, and thank you for watching. And before I forget, if you like to see what I do with all the ingredients, last week I posted a video where I posted everything I eat in a week. So look for that if you're interested, and you can also check me out on Instagram because I post every single meal there. But yeah, thank you for watching. Until next time, bye for now.